Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you really like what I'm doing here, make sure that you like and subscribe. It's really helpful as a growing small channel that I get as much interaction as possible from you guys. Maybe your friends, maybe your family, maybe you've stumbled across this because I have been trying to do the YouTube SEOs. But I would really appreciate it, and I hope that this brings some sort of value to you. So, um, for any new people that have not seen any of my videos, as I do every video, as I've tried to format these appropriately, I start with a bit of a purview, a glance into how I start my morning every morning, and how I would advise you to get a good start to your day before you go on your morning walk. So the first thing I do, make sure that you set your alarm, or my much preferred method is if you can go ahead and wake up naturally, whether that be after 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. My hope is that it is more at 8 or 9 hours of sleep. Go ahead and kick yourself out of bed without kicking your dog, husband, or cat in the face, and get the hell up. Immediately after getting up, I would go directly down to your kitchen, or however you travel within your house to get there. I would put a tablespoon of salt down, along with 16 ounces of room temperature water. That is your choice. If you want to do cold water, fine. I can't do it early in the morning, but room temperature water, because we're going to walk fasted in the morning, and we can take advantage of some fat oxidation. My hope is that you had set your coffee maker to make some coffee early in the morning. Green tea works as well. Instant coffee, sure, whatever, just a little bit of caffeine, not a lot, not 200 milligrams. You don't need to be putting a Bang energy drink down early in the morning. So a Yoambin tablet, a little bit of caffeine, 16 ounces of water, your tablespoon of salt, and now you're pretty much ready to go. Your organs are going to be starting to activate, your digestive system is going to start to activate, and you're going to be ready to go on your walk. Now you are going to go back into your room to get basically dressed for your walk with weather appropriate clothing. For me, it's a little bit chilly here in Vegas today, although the sun is starting to peek out. So I have some thermal compression style gear, basically an off-brand Under Armour hat, whatever is appropriate. Obviously the summer, you just want as cool as possible. And you're trying to get out the door in 15 to 20 minutes, which is preferred. If you move a little bit slower in the morning, it might take you a little bit longer. Maybe some of you get in the groove and you're ready to go. But we are out the door with that early in the morning, and we are walking. So how long are we walking? I will always tell people that it is 3 sets of 15 minutes per day will get you to level 1, which is going to be 6,000 to 8,000 steps, depending on your activity level at work. But if you are someone that we are looking to burn some excess energy for fat loss, or just generally to have a more active, healthy amount of calories be burning throughout the day, I'd love to get you to level 2, which is anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 steps. You are going to need a decent little walk in the morning, probably over the 25-30 minute mark. I personally usually walk in the morning for about 40 to 45 minutes. Take advantage of low intensity, steady state cardio in zone 2, about 2 times my max resting heart rate, which is basically what you achieve when you're sleeping. So my heart rate going to be anywhere between 93 beats per minute to about 100 beats per minute, depending on if I'm on a hill and things like that, but totally fine. I believe zone 2 will carry you all the way up to maybe like 112 or something like that. It does depend on your age, but a brisk walking pace, not a lazy casual walking pace, but also not power walking or any of that shit. So right now I'm going uphill at Exploration Peak in Las Vegas. So I am going to be panting a little bit, maybe getting out of zone 2 into zone 3 as it gets a little bit more steep. But I don't want you guys to be at all worried about that, because I want you to just be enjoying outdoors, enjoying your walk. As I've kind of worked on the format, I get that intro done. Hopefully today, the intro on your habit of just waking up and getting the hell out, I covered it in a minute or two. We'll see, and I'm going to keep on trying to get it in a minute or two and get my little script for you. Any people that are watching these consistently, always feel free to just go ahead and skip right on by that, but I want new users or new viewers to always see that. But the first 15 minutes of my walks, which might be the full amount of time for some of you, I'm going to be focused on my more meditative state. I'm going to be focused on an interior monologue of what my mind is doing for the morning, see where my thoughts are, get them to clear themselves up, get them to calm themselves. And it's funny, every morning is a little bit different. Some morning I wake up, my stress or anxiety is very high. Actually, I was talking to somebody about that on my Instagram page. They were looking for some advice because they have a lot of anxiety in the morning. I got a group running behind us. Better men than I. Let them go. Some people are going to wake up in the morning very, very anxious, and some people are going to wake up completely numbed out, and almost you got to boot your brain up. So I find it being whichever one. So I'm not going to say that you're this type of person, you're that type of person. It's probably going to be different on different days. We have different factors in our lives across nutrition, across sunshine, stress at work, stress with your family. That's going to affect things like that. And so the only constant is change, right? A little bit of variation from day to day. So we'll go into our inner monologue here, despite us having quite a few people around us. Okay, now it's going to silence down a little bit. And I won't say that I am the one that came up with this, although it's not an entirely new concept, but I am borrowing from Micah Dolce around getting into this meditative state. We're counting down from 300. So I got a lot of things going on in my head right now. My dad is in town, so a lot of things going in my head. Very, very busy last 2 weeks, a lot of travel. That's all swirling. So I'm going to count down from 300, get to a point where my mind is pretty much peaceful, at ease, where I almost have like no thoughts. And then I'm going to refresh myself out of that. I'm going to emerge out of that state and start looking into noticing and letting you, kind of just giving you guys a purvey into my head and my mind about the thoughts that come across. These thoughts aren't necessarily more important than others. It's just where my mind is going to lead itself. So let's do that. Counting down from 300. All right. So I got to 269. One easy way to know that this is kind of working on getting your mind settled down, I have a really hard time counting from 300 to 290. It's all over the place. I was at 298. Was at 296. Okay, this is 294. Is it? I don't know where the count is. It's like when you're doing a hard CrossFit workout, a Metcon, and you're trying to keep count of your reps, and your mind's just all over the place because you're kind of in a frantic state of mind. That's where I'm usually at when I'm counting down from 300 for the first time. So it's a really good sign that once you get into the 270s, low 280s, that now you're able to count. That means you settled down. You can kind of focus and concentrate on one thing for a second and, you know, emerge out of it without all that anxiety. So I think one thing that's helpful too, in this particular case, I could be this way every morning, is the focus on walking over these rocks, the focus on having control of my breath because I don't want to get too exhausted for this. Walking uphill, that will take my concentration away from too many non-intrusive, too many intrusive thoughts, things that aren't about me being present. So we have the Vegas Fire Department up here doing some training on this hill. God bless them. So next time one of you are carried out of fire here, you can thank the training they're doing over here at Exploration Peak. Cool, we're just reaching the top of the peak here. As I always like to show you guys the beautiful Vegas Valley. Let's give everyone another peek here. I was here last weekend, about 3 videos ago or so. Stay on me, bud. Go down. Here we go. Cool. Yes, sir. We'll get a little farther out onto this little point that they have here. Cool, so that's one thing I noticed right away. I also noticed that when I get my mind to settle down and be in a more present state, maybe I'm not thinking about myself all the time, which is good. Maybe I'm thinking more about the wind, the air. Maybe I'm thinking about things in my body more so than I'm thinking about things in my mind, which is a great sign of presence, right? Normally our mind is thinking about things in the past or in the future, things we got to do later versus what we're doing right now. But your body lives in the present. It exists in the present because, well, I guess the only thing it could be is if you tore up your knee in high school as a high school running back and tore up your ACL or some shit like that. I suppose your knee could still be living in the past a little bit. But for the most part, the body has to act in space in the present. But your mind thinks about things in the past and thinks about things in the future. All right, I'm going to give you guys a spin here too, right on this edge. Yeah. Love it. Over the course of, God, I keep on saying to people 10 years. I don't even know for sure if it's 10 years or 9 years. 2014, 2020. Yeah, I mean, would that mean at the end of 10 years, at the end of 20, if I came here in 2014, it's 2024 now. I mean, at the end of this year, it's a full year. So I'm going into my 10th year of being here. I think that's what it would be. I'm going into my 10th year of being here in Vegas. I'm at home. So I feel this is my spot. I don't feel like back in Sioux Falls, South Dakota is my home anymore. Somebody's got a drone up here. Maybe my buddy Vin is here or something somewhere. But but this is my home, so I feel at home here. Um, Other things too. I mean, I know I kind of carried in. We are inner monologuing here right now, guys. So realizing the beauty here. Um, Already noticing I am getting a little hot, so the hat might come off here eventually, so you guys can see the chrome dome getting reflected off from the sun. From the format perspective, let's assume, and I didn't take a good look at it, let's assume I got done with my intro about 3 minutes in. It's 15 minutes right now, meaning we have a couple more minutes of inner monologuing in the initial 15 minutes. I'm going to keep moving here, just slowly. Going to keep moving. And then we're eventually going to work our way back side of the mountain here. Loving the cool air this morning. Visually loving that I'm getting all of this different type of vegetation that I'm not always getting when I'm walking down the street close to my house. A variety in the rock color. Color is a big thing for the eyes. So my eyes are excited to see some of this orange, red, different shades of brown, the rust, different shades of even gray and silver that we have kind of in our desert, arid environments here. And just something I notice is, you know, when I get into these inner monologue states, like I said, we start noticing things kind of outside of us, which I think is really good. My monkey, my ape brain, my brain is an animal on this earth, gets very excited about where we are. The other thing I notice as I start to pull into my body and away from my mind is an awareness, once again, my stomach. We are a little bit later on the weekend right now. My dad and I went out to Hot Pot last night. It was really great. A place called Alleyway Hot Pot Rainbow in Vegas. Go there. They have a lot of really cool like Lego stuff. That was really unique. But my ghrelin is going. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. Maybe I shouldn't say my ghrelin is going. My stomach says, "Hey, we need to eat." So, and being triggered by ghrelin. Ghrelin, my stomach is used to getting some food about 5 a.m. and it is 9:41 right now. So we also ate a little bit later than normal. So maybe quit your bitching, right, Mr. Stomach? But we're gonna get some breakfast in right after this. Then we're gonna run some errands. All right, we're going over to some terrain. So now my awareness is being brought into how I'm navigating. So normally, let's come back here, Mr. Gimbal. There we go. So normally my first 15 minutes here are laps down at the bottom. I did a couple of laps with my dad. So like, let's just go into kind of talking about whatever. Maybe we kind of go into some health topics, but one thing I guess you could talk about is your family, and very from the gratitude perspective, which I feel naturally, as I've talked about the environment, the air, my body, by acknowledging them, giving them loving language, giving myself loving language to both the earth, the sun, the atmosphere, my own body, kind of doing that gratitude. But I am definitely grateful for my body this morning as I traverse the side of this hill, this rocky hill, and I trust my ankles to not roll around on these loose rocks that are everywhere. I trust them completely. Notice I shout at my ankles and knees. I shout at my left knee to not begin getting painful from going downhill. I shot a little video earlier. I've talked about this before. I think I talked about it literally on this damn hill, probably pretty close to where I am right now. One of the best things that you guys can do if you are going to be hiking, traversing uphill on your walk, find a little hill just before the spot that you go on. Even if you just, but walking backwards, get yourself in a little bit of an athletic pose, drop them hips, unlock those knees, and walk backwards, slightly wider stance than normal for walking. Go ahead and kick those knees out, point them over, let's say your third toe. So if you're straight up, you're going this way, but if you're kind of like tilted off to the side, I would say maybe not quite 45, but close. Pointing your knees out so that you can maintain that knee path. Try not to do knee valgus, which is the caving in that you see, maybe you see out of somebody squatting, and walk backwards, up and down. My thing is, I don't put an exact number on it because I let the quads just fill up and fire up until I feel nice and warm. But when I have done it, and I've kind of calculated it before, I'm going anywhere from like 5 to 800 feet is so 5 to 800 feet. So 10 rounds of about 50 feet is about right, of either walking backwards, walking up a hill. Probably raises your heart rate just a little, but nothing you got to worry about too much, as long as you're not sprinting backwards and sprinting back down. Not necessary. Going to get you into a good spot, knees ready to take on the walk ahead. Yeah, so we've talked a little bit about knee health already, right? We've talked about high school football players busting their ACLs and knees living in the past dimensions. I'm imagining a knee on the other side of the bookcase in Interstellar, watching somebody's dad in the fucking 70s when they had like no good equipment, and the head coach being like, "Get back out there," after he said, but coach, my knee hurts, get back out there. And literally the knee has a face on it with little skin flaps yelling. He's like, "No, don't, please." Well, I don't even remember Matthew McConaughey's daughter's name in that, Jessica Chastain, but whatever her don't leave Murray. There it is. Don't leave me, Murray. No. Murphy or Murray? In the comments, correct me what Matthew McConaughey's daughter was in Interstellar, so we can move on from my bad knee jokes. All right, cool. This is steep here, so I'm in complete trust of my ankles to traverse this, and my knee that is flaring up just a little bit. But yeah, so that's something great for you to do. Also, so since my dad is in town, and I know I'm kind of like airing his stuff, because you can obviously find my name and go ahead and find my dad, what his name is, and if you want to dox him, whatever, I guess. But frankly, he don't really give two shits about this kind of stuff. What I can tell he probably does give two shits about, though, is being in environments where people are able to work out. I'll pause here for a second. Good morning. Hi, baby. Well, he does probably care a little bit about, and I can just kind of tell, is being embarrassed when you're overweight, and being in a gym environment, being in a place where people are exercising. We were walking around, and he said sorry a lot because he had to be slower, and even at a slow pace, he was breathing pretty good. I need you guys, I need everybody that is interested in becoming better to stop apologizing. You're gonna apologize to anybody. Maybe apologize to your body, but don't apologize to other people. Fuck that shit. But your health journey and your journey to wellness is starting from square one, and you have to strip yourself of all those years of shame as quick as possible. I hated my body and I hated myself for the longest time. Being overweight, wanting to be, look a certain way, wanting a certain amount of attention from the other gender, which I thought that would do. But by the way, if you get really tore up, I mean, it does help, but it's more often you're gonna get comments from dudes, just so that you guys know out there, looking big, man. Like, girls don't really care how much you deadlift. They'll basically have mechanisms in their brain that trigger that. Hey, you're an attractive person that's in shape, and it's all going to be, those attraction triggers are going to be a little bit different from each person to the next. That's why each human is an individual, unique. But back to where you're starting in your health journey. Nobody is better than you. Nobody, no matter how far they've gotten, no fucking shredded up six-pack fucking bodybuilder is better than you or is worth more than you. Their body is not worth more than your body. I want you to just know that you are on your wellness journey. You are on your wellness track. I have a person coming up behind me. Out of respect for them, I'll let them pass by. Your wellness track, that you have to go at your own pace, and that pace and that journey looks different, and it's not any less or any better than anybody else's. In a bodybuilder sense, there's guys watching the channel. I'm not a bodybuilder. I know quite a bit about bodybuilding. Don't ever consider myself a bodybuilder. Take all the drugs in the world, man. You ain't gonna look like Arnold. There's a genetic component to it. What I will say, though, is we are not genetically predisposed to be, 400 or 500 pounds. Look at our ancestors. We're not genetically predisposed to that, guys. So, like, I want to be very clear when people hear that, they're like, oh, you can always outwork bad genetics and things like that. You can, but we're not supposed to be overweight the way that modern society has designed for us. With the food that we eat, with the habits that we have, we're not supposed to be that overweight. But I would really like to also see anybody that's starting on their health and wellness journey that's that overweight. First of all, working with a trainer. You're going to have a lot of mental health concerns, especially when you're starting out, that a trainer can kind of help you traverse. Be very careful about the trainer that you choose. I am not 6% body fat. I do plan to get pretty low body fat later this year. I dipped pretty low, got my abs showing pretty well last month. I'm taking a break from the dieting, as you need to do, and then I'm going to go back into it with more steps, with more walking, with a little bit less high intensity interval training from CrossFit, a little bit more rest, and a little bit more meal frequency to try that out and see how my body works with that. And then from there, I have all kinds of options. Nothing about cutting my calories, right? Cutting my macronutrients in any way. So, which will be kind of the last resort. I talked about that in yesterday's video, that we generally don't want to cut calories. But back to the topic of you being overweight, I'd like to see you with a trainer, or I'd like to see you in a group fitness environment over just wandering into Globo Gym. Not everybody's going to have the budget to do that. Say join a CrossFit gym, powerlifting gym. But I will tell you, any of those types of gyms that are specialties, CrossFit, powerlifting, Olympic lifting, those communities are hyper welcoming to people. They look intimidating, they feel intimidating, but I promise you that 99% of people be there, you will get the biggest, buffest looking guy that's on literally snorting Trembolone right in the locker rooms. He says, "Hey, cool. I'm John. Nice to meet you. Uh, let's see, Stephanie. There we go. John meets Stephanie. Stephanie is a little intimidated by going into the gym, and John will say, meet my group over here. You know, we've been training here for years. It's a great gym. John's probably gonna give her a friendly, go get him, ambulance. Go save some lives. John's probably going to say hi to her every time she comes in. John's probably gonna go squat 800 pounds in the corner and make a lot of really scary bear noises. But John is going to be very friendly, and so are his friends. They're going to introduce you to the gym owner, everything. So I would advocate going to that. Now, if you are ending up at Globo Gym, Planet Fitness, and here in the Southwest, EOS, Gold's Gym, 24-hour fitness, anything like that, that's okay. But I need you to be cognizant of your mental health. Listen to people like me. Listen to people. Go search other influencers on YouTube. Work on your mind. Work on your mental state. So what I don't really want people to do is to be working out in this sense of shame. And also realize, okay, cool, I want to lose weight. The first thing that you do does not mean for you to do as you see in every single, I don't know, romantic comedy, Rocky Balboa movies. It's like that now you're going to be doing the battle ropes and you're going to be on the Stairmaster just kicking your own ass, working out for 3 hours a day, twice a day, so that you can lose 80 pounds and, you know, unfortunately at that point probably gain it back when somebody's attacking it. We need sustainable, consistent habits that don't cause more stress in our lives. Because think about it, you just are starting exercise routine, your nutrition's gonna be different, your body's gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? We don't need other stressors, right? It's gotten used to something. It was used to getting done with work and just sitting its ass down and saying, I'm done for the day, right? But we're saying, it's like, oh no, we're getting back up. So we don't need any more stress in our lives by all of those exercises. So, you know, and even on the CrossFit portion, make sure that you are taking your own, let's say, your own awareness into account with your coach. I would probably say that 90% of CrossFit coaches out there are going to scale you appropriately, recognize where you're at, and give you a great, safe workout at your appropriate level. We're all over the place this morning. That's your appropriate level of fitness and stress. So this is why I like going early in the morning. People aren't dying early in the morning. So they don't have all this stuff going on. Man, it looks like my mic is still clipping. I'm gonna work on that, guys. Maybe this mic needs to get farther away. Maybe I need to speak softer. Give you that voice that was gonna put you to bed. Type of deal. The whisper in the ear. But we don't need extra stressors. We're just starting out, so the walking is fine. The 3x15 is a great starting point, along with nutrition. So if I'm starting you off, I'm getting you to walk. In the case of my dad, he's a big guy. 2,000 to 4,000 steps is going to be a lot for him. Even he drives truck, he sits a lot during the day. 2,000 to 4,000 steps, that might be where we start. But along with eating whole nutrition foods, it's going to be a great combination. You're probably already going to start to see things. Now, is it going to be slow? Is it going to be like The Biggest Loser, where 80 pounds are dropped off in like a month and a half? No. But is what they do on The Biggest Loser sustainable for you? 99% of people, it's going to be no. It's not sustainable for me. Fuck that shit. I also have a job I'm doing besides all of this stuff to keep my body alive. So um, I'm not saying you got to do all that. So walking, if you are a very overweight person, let's get you to the 2,000 to 4,000 steps. That's sub level 1. That's okay. Everybody's gonna be different. Get your level 1 to the 4,000 to 6,000 steps and eating all whole food ingredients. I'm not even telling you how many calories you have to eat. I'm not even telling you how many grams of protein. I probably would say that grams of protein is a foundational portion, but if I find this person is really overly concerned about it, or even has some toxic views on the protein, I might cut that whole thing out and just say, I need you to have a palm-sized portion of protein. I don't want you to worry about the ounces. I don't want you to worry about the grams, anything like that, and just simplify it. You know, keep it simple, stupid. And I think in those ways too, because those core aspects of make the food colorful, get that chunk of protein, which by the way is going to probably be anywhere between 40 and 60 grams of protein, a big old chunk, just depending on the thickness there. I have small hands too, so like maybe you got a big old mitt on you, so then you'll get your full 60 grams of protein with it. Veggies, fruits over any processed sugars or processed carbs, and like you're doing well. Now we can move on. Once you get past that and you're starting to build the habits of your life, and starting to break away from preservatives, break away from chemicals, break away from processed sugar and the hyperpalatables, then we're going to get into, all right, cool. You are a male that weighs 2,000 pounds. You are a tank. 2,000 pound male. 2,000 pound male gorilla. Sexual Tyrannosaurus. That requires 20,000 calories a day. You need 4 bull elk every single day. Just the fucking Hulk over here. You weigh 200 pounds as an adult male. You're probably anywhere between 2,500 to maybe more 2,300, but 23, depending on your activity, 2,300 to 3,000 calories. We have to figure out your activity level first. Find your daily maintenance. Set your daily maintenance. And only adjust kind of as a last resort for the caloric portions, and then we're going to go after the protein. So I am a person where I like to keep it really, really simple. I don't do the 0.6, the 0.8 grams. Your body weight is how many grams of protein that you need. The only time that I am not going to have that is, listen, man, you weigh 400 pounds. You don't need 400 grams of protein. You're going to, well, if you can balance that shit with some fiber, I suppose, but you're gonna have some tough times in the bathroom. So 400 grams of protein, 1% not necessary, will probably cap you then at your lean body mass, which is going to be close to that 200 grams of protein area. So, hey Siri, stop. Siri was trying to call emergency services. For what? Did I say something? What did I say, guys? Let me know. Timestamp it. And she totally got me off my little kind of rant there. So yeah, we'll probably cap you out at 200 grams of protein, which is more closer to lean body mass. Protein is a tool, though, from the satiating aspect of it, that I may play with that a little bit for you. We may increase our protein as we get into lower and lower macronutrients on the last steps of like these cuts, and I would probably say we're not going to lower the macronutrients, and we're going to trade them out. So you might trade some carbs out for some more satiating proteins a little later down the lines. So even fats can go up in a cut, guys. It's crazy. It is just because we're working on satiating you as much as possible. We're coming back around here. I'm going to meet with my dad. Hopefully you guys in this rant, I didn't rant, but my rambling this morning found some sort of value in this for you. Please, 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 if you like what's going on here, you have suggestions as well. I'm going to be a little bit more scripted moving forward this week. I promise. I'm going to spend some time this weekend so that the topics are more exact. So I can cut those chapters out and everything for you guys so they're more digestible chunks. But if you have suggestions, critiques, recommendations, I'd love to hear it. And just go ahead and comment. Love a like, love a subscribe. But I hope the rest of you have a really good weekend. Get out in the sun, get some walking, enjoy yourselves, get some exercise in, enjoy some time with your family, and have a good weekend, guys. Thanks so much for watching.